What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. So NIO unveiled their Q2 numbers this morning. I'm going to go over some of those highlights, what the current data points are saying, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, NIO is up 13.21%, is pounding at the door. So there is a lot of resistance at this stage. So I'm going to go over the technicals near the tail end of the video. But generally, today is a very good day. It's getting a lot of attention from institutions, and that's very resemblant based on the volume. So 86.93 million shares being traded, 40 is the average. These are some of the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000 today. So quite a lot. And yeah, this has been long past due. So I think a lot of entities, even shorts, were really anticipating NIO to flop. And if you look at a lot of the charts, kind of did signal that it was going to miss in some regards. So today was a very, very positive surprise. And so these are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So once again, you're seeing a lot of buying on both exchanges. Very popular stuff. And even in fact, shorts are returning roughly around 835,000 shares. Cost to borrow is sitting at 13.69%. So I do anticipate, given the results from today, shorts will be returning back to around that 12% range, at least in the short term. And I think shorts have been lingering around for some time because they were anticipating some very negative data on a macro viewpoint. And even in NIO's case, I think they were just anticipating kind of negative numbers from that. But NIO just said F you to the broader market, and yeah, absolutely couldn't have played out any better. So as you can kind of see right here, these are the current estimates. So it does show negative 30 cents, but other places are just rounding it up to 31. So negative 31 cents was that estimate for earnings per share, and then 2.44 billion for revenue. Came in at 2.4, so a very minor miss, but the market didn't really care. Earnings per share was a beat, so it did come in at negative 30 cents, but their future guidance, that is what obviously the market cares about, right? Leading into NIO's earnings, I said the market was going to be very fickle, and if NIO was going to show any sign of weakness, they were going to get hammered down. But they, again, just said, you know what, F you, and just went up. So even their future guidance, they did raise it. So previously, the estimate was 2.54 billion. They raised it to between 2.63 and 2.71 billion for the guidance. And all of this is through Wall Street Engine on Twitter. So you can kind of see some of the key highlights. Amazing gross profit, up a measly 1,800% year over year. So not only did they have record numbers for deliveries, moving in the right direction for revenue. So even just looking on the chart, this is why shorts no doubtably were kind of lingering, as they were anticipating more of a continuation for that to go down. But delivery is up, margins definitely improved significantly. Every attribute that the market cares about was improving. So vehicle sales up 118% year over year, deliveries 143% year over year. So yeah, I think NIO hit a goddamn home run, and rightfully so that institutions are finally paying attention to it, because as I've brought up in the past, just looking at just merely the PS ratio, like comparing NIO to Lucid, for example, NIO should be at $15. So it kind of puts in perspective on how discounted NIO is. And as of right now, quickly popping over to IBKR, there's been only 2 ratings that has come out so far today. I do anticipate a hell of a lot more, because usually there's around a good 6 to 8 that give ratings due to their earnings. One came in at $5.30, hold rating, Bank of America, and this analyst has a 27% success rating, so not the best. And even aside from that, you did have Citi, $7 price target, Jeff, who has a 33% success rating. That's kind of normal, because I think a lot of analysts that cover EVs are wrong pretty much 99% of the time, but still, beside the point, it goes to show that given the results, NIO is at a pretty deep discount. And so as a consensus, even encumbering a lot of these bad ones like $4, there is $6.14 kind of the consensus, and that does represent 27.39% upside. So very, very good stuff in that regard. And so I think that is just aiding in so much more happening behind the scenes. So I do anticipate a continuation of shorts returning some shares, not a mother of all short squeeze. You see a lot of people quickly just jumping the gun and saying NIO is a massive short squeeze. Yeah, it is somewhat heavily shorted, but then again, I don't see, like, their numbers were phenomenal, but there is still a certain level of fear in the broader market. So I feel like that might keep a lid on any squeezes, but still the fact that they are returning 828,000 shares, and most likely that'll continue into the next couple trading days, I still see that as optimistic, even though it won't have a squeeze. So let me know your thoughts on that. Going over some data points, a lot of money is getting into NIO through options, night and day difference. So 8.11 million in calls, 2.99 million in puts, and there's still roughly around 45 minutes left in the trading day. So that should really be definitely going up quite a lot. 51% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish, and there seems to be a consensus for it to be between that 5 to roughly 550 in the next couple of weeks. So more of a continuation of a kind of uptrend. When it comes down to options though, it is just merely a sentiment. It does not move the stock price. So again, just kind of keep that in mind. But as of right now, with it at $4.82, it is trading between this R2 and this R3. So 455 is going to be that next strong support that you want to watch for it to hold. But given today's momentum, I don't see it being touched, at least in the short term, unless something again negative really happens on a macro viewpoint. But $4.86 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. So if it does get above that, then yeah, anticipate higher highs. And as I brought up in my video, I think it was like 4 days ago, something like that, based on the Elliott wave technicals, it is actually projecting for it to get to that $5 range, kind of mid five, low to mid fives. So something again to kind of keep in mind behind the scenes. On the actual chart itself, so today is a big day, especially in NIO's case. That 50-day moving average is pretty symbolic of a trend kind of switching. So typically you need 2 consecutive trading days to confirm a trend. So tomorrow will be a very big day for NIO. But right now it is above that 50-day moving average as well as that 100-day moving average. So if it is able to kind of hold these gains tomorrow, then yeah, this is where you'll see probably the Elliott wave technicals playing out. So roughly you'll see that 550 in the short term. Right now on stochastic, you do see a very bullish signal right now, white line above the red. At the same time, it is at 86, so potentially considered overbought. First sign of weakness, you could see more of a consolidation, but I think given these earnings, it's really going to fuel the level of buying coming from institutions. So you're going to have the market kind of torn, right? So if there is negative data coming out, you'll have more of a price suppression. But once again, given the results, you're going to have NIO as probably one of the biggest value plays in the EV sector. So you're going to have naturally a lot of institutions gravitating towards NIO. So it'll be a very interesting couple days in the next several trading days, of course. Number of retail investors are getting in. So like I said, I think just their numbers were absolutely phenomenal, laying the foundation for pretty much the next quarter to be kick-ass. Again, it'll come down to if they can actually hit their marks. But yeah, I think NIO is going to be a very big force to be reckoned with. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? Did you buy, for instance, options? Because like I mentioned, this is huge amounts of money, and a lot of which is very optimistic. So what have you guys been doing with NIO? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account for $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. The link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.